Okay, already did my best list. Now it's time for the pieces of shit. What's happening, everybody? David the Film Junkie here, and I already brought you, like I said, my top 10 best movies of 2013. Now it's time for the shitters, the top 10 worst movies of 2013, in my opinion, okay? So if it's a movie you like and you hate me for it, I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. It's a human feature. All right, well, let's get started. Coming in at number 10, the first on the list, Dark Skies. Yeah. I didn't see this one in the theaters. I saw it, though, a couple months ago on video, and this movie was just, it had such, because I love alien movies, especially when it has to do with, like, alien abduction movies. Like, it just could be so creepy, and so, you know, I love the X-Files, I love just movies like that, and this one had the potential for it, but it had all the cliches and they didn't fucking work. The kids are seeing the aliens, they're hearing noises, they're seeing stuff, and then of course the parents aren't believing them, and then all of a sudden they do believe them, but the dad is still going, no, this is stupid, baby. Why do they insist on doing the same formula for everything, you know? Like, put yourself in these people's shoes, you know, do that. Do that. Coming in at number 9, some of the Apple fanboys might not like this, but Jobs. Yeah. Man. I think the filmmakers were hoping for another Social Network, and it was not even close. Because first off, you cast Ashton Kutcher. He tried way too hard. I mean, apparently he even tried to mimic the walk. He practiced Steve Jobs' like little freaking hoppity walk for like 3 months, and I'm like thinking, okay, you just look like an idiot. Sometimes it worked, and most of the time it just didn't, and there was just too much information to fit in this short movie. It wasn't even that long as it should have been, and the script was just not good. It just kept going, and it was just a total miss. Just a total miss for me. I was kind of hoping we were just getting punked. That is such the obvious joke. Coming in at number 8, and this is probably one of the biggest bombs of the year, After Earth. And you know what's kind of funny? When I actually reviewed this, I kind of gave it a little credit, but then I just kind of sank in, and I even tried to watch it again a little bit, and wow, that movie is a steaming pile of Will Smith shit. I mean, Will Smith is awesome, but he was trying to do like an Idris Elba thing and try to change his voice, which if Idris Elba was in this movie, it probably would have made it so much better. But the fact of the matter is, Jaden Smith is a fucking terrible actor. Terrible. It sucks that, you know, these child actors who are born into these acting families can just get jobs like that. I mean, but M. Night Shyamalan, what happened? What happened? M. Night Shyamalan used to be one of my favorite directors because his first 4 movies kicked ass. They were all awesome. They were all shot well. They all had great twists. And he didn't really have a twist in here. It was all kind of like a fear thing, and it didn't work. It was dumb. Jaden Smith was a little squeaky crybaby, and yeah, Will Smith didn't really do jack shit. Coming in at number 7 was a disappointing comedy that was, you have 2 great comedy actors, and it was just like, oh, this should be magic. Burt Wonderstone, or The Amazing Burt Wonderstone, where the hell it was. Oh my God, this movie, man. I love Steve Carell, but I fucking hated him. I loathed him in this movie. He was awful. Awful. I mean, he just was a dick the whole time, and he never let up. Never let up. Jim Carrey actually made this movie watchable, but it was just the fact that these 2 comedy giants were together, and it just fucking sucked. Man, it sucked. But like I said, Jim Carrey was decent, but still, this movie blew. Coming in at number 6 was a movie I couldn't even get through because I didn't see it in the theater, but I was watching it here, and no. R.I.P.D. My fucking God. Again, 2 great actors coming together in a Men in Black-like scenario, but with the dead. That could actually work, because I've actually thought of a movie about that, but it wasn't this piece of shit. This movie, oh man, I got through probably the first half hour and I had to turn it off because you had Jeff Bridges just phoning in and just probably drunk the whole time because he was just talking like this, I'm talking like this, you can't understand the thing I'm talking about. Ryan Reynolds just being Ryan Reynolds, and I mean, it couldn't be salvaged. You know, the chemistry blew. It was like I said, it was like Jeff Bridges was drunk. probably the whole time, and Ryan Reynolds was just going, fuck, I totally fucked up. Number 5 is, well, there was 2 movies like this, and this was by far the worst one. White House Down. You know what? Olympus Has Fallen came out first, and I actually liked. I enjoyed when Olympus Has Fallen. It was just a great action flick, and Gerard Butler is he's a hard ass. Trade that for Channing Tatum, and then Jamie Foxx being the fucking president, and he phoned in this shit. He was terrible in this movie. Jamie Foxx was stupid. Oh man, I'm like, what? And it's funny, this has happened many times before where like 2 movies with like similar stories show up like in the same year. But man, like I said, I really enjoyed actually Olympus Has Fallen because it was like a Die Hard scenario, you know? And it had like just great action. And then you have Roland Emmerich, who's best known for Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow, just like disaster flicks, just trying to do this shit. And you could see his touch because it's just fucking CGI everywhere. Coming in at number 4, oh god, this movie was just testosterone-filled shit. So you could tell, this piece of shit had big time weight to it. There was protein in it. Pain and Gain. Oh god, this movie's. Oh, this was so terrible. This movie was based on a true story where people got killed and these guys were trying to do this shit, and Michael Bay grabbed it and just pissed all over it. He said, no, we're not going to be true to the story. I'm going to make a parody version of the story with you know, well-known actors. Well, at least the 2, you know, Dwayne Johnson and Mark Wahlberg. But it was just like, this movie was so idiotic, so stupid. It had Michael Bay's fucking jizz all over it because, you know, it had his shots. You could totally tell, but it was just like, really? Really? Oh god, this movie, I hated it. I walked out just like hating it. I hated Mark Wahlberg for a minute. Luckily, 2 Guns, he made up for it. Coming in at number 3, I don't even want to call it what it is because it is a sequel. I don't even want to call it because I love the franchise. Die Hard 5 or Live Free or Die Hard, or is it A Good Day to Die Hard? That's what it is. Fuck. Bruce Willis, stop. Stop it. Please. Okay? It sucks that Bruce Willis is treating the very franchise that launched his career like this. It is terrible because he doesn't play John McClane. He doesn't play John McClane. John McClane, if you watch the first 3 Die Hard movies, you see John McClane. If you watch the 4th one and the 5th one, that's not fucking John McClane. That's just Bruce Willis being his little smirk of... It's just Bruce Willis being Bruce Willis in a fucking stupid action movie. I mean, this one was way worse than Live Free or Die Hard, the 4th one. I actually could tolerate Live Free or Die Hard because it actually had a villain. This one did. There was like, who's the villain? And then there's a guy eating carrots. I don't understand. And then he's trying to save his son, and they have like the worst relationship ever. And the chemistry was terrible. And I was watching another top 10 list, and this was on it, worst list, and they mentioned he doesn't throw a punch in this movie. And I realized, wow, he doesn't fucking throw a punch in this movie. The Die Hard franchise is dead, okay? And they're supposed to make a 6th one, and I'm not... Just, bring in, what's the original director, John something? I don't know. But man, stop it. Act like John McClane if you're gonna fucking play John McClane again, Bruce Willis. Fuck! Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Russia. That was the tagline on the fucking poster. Ugh. Coming in at number 2 was a big, huge disappointment because it had a lot of star power, and I was thinking, okay, this should be good. But no. The Counselor. Oh. I saw Wolf of Wall Street, right? That movie was 3 hours long. Counselor, not that long, but it felt like it was fucking 30 hours long. You don't know what's going on in this movie. I guess you have to read the book. I guess they wanted you to read the book before you went and saw this movie because you have no fucking clue what's going on in this movie. It's Michael Fassbender is a counselor and he cries and he does that. Yeah, Brad Pitt, who does a decent job, Brad Pitt's probably the best thing in this movie. You know, and even, I'll give Michael Fassbender a little bit of credit. He did do an actual job, even though his little crying scene, something like... But everybody else, Cameron Diaz, oh god, I hated her in this, and she puts her vagina on the windshield. I don't even know. But yeah, you just don't really know what's going on. I mean, he's a counselor, and he counseled people. Now he's trying to do this drug trafficking and trying to marry Penelope. No. Finally, we come to number 1, and this was on nobody's list, and I don't think people consider it because I think a lot of people actually liked it, but there was something about this movie, and I think it was just because I liked the concept, but the movie, The Purge. Yes, The Purge. That is by far my fucking most hated movie this year because, like I said, I think it was because I like the idea. I like the idea that, you know, in the future, the government gives you a day to do whatever the fuck you want. You can kill somebody, you can rob shit, you'll blow shit up, you can do whatever you want. I like that idea. But they turn it into a fucking home invasion movie. What? Oh, why? We've seen home invasion movies so many times. Why would you take a new original idea and fucking do that and do such a cliched idea? Oh, and I don't think I've ever walked away from a movie where I wanted the fucking kid to die. Yes, I wanted his son to die because it was his son's fault. It was his son's fault that this shit started because he let like the guy in who they were chasing and everything, and then it just didn't make sense. I mean, the fucking house was pretty much a hotel because there'd be shit going on in the living room, but nobody else could hear it. And I walked away from this movie going, wow, just wow. And like I said, I wanted the kid to get killed. I think I started sweating after that one. Those are my choices for the worst movies of 2013. I'd like to know some of your choices. What was your most hated movie you saw? I didn't see The Lone Ranger, and that was on some other lists that I saw out there, and I didn't get around to it just because I knew it was gonna be a shitter. Yeah. And I was thinking, well, maybe for this list I'll watch it. But then I looked at the runtime and it was like over 2.5 hours. And I'm like, no. So I didn't watch it, and I'm sure that would probably be on this list. I'm sure it would be probably because, yeah, there's some of these movies on here I can actually tolerate, but, you know, if I would have watched that, but I'm not going to sit there and waste 2.5 hours of my life when I know this movie's a steaming pile of Johnny Depp's horse's shit. Does Johnny Depp have a horse? Probably. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and also hit that like, thumbs up button if you be so kind. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and also visit filmjunkie.com, and I might even do article posts on these too. I don't know. Whoa. There you go. See what happens when I talk about the worst movies? I get gas. Alright guys, I am David, the Film Junkie, and this was my top 10 worst movies of 2013. I thank you guys for watching. Bring on the shitters of 2014. Alright? Because there's probably going to be a lot. Oh boy. Alright guys, bye.